السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. ثم أما بعد. We are still talking about the تزكية. We mentioned التزكية, the meaning of تزكية, right? What the meaning of تزكية? Purification and growth, right? And we said the تزكية is one of the jobs of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he was sent to do and to actually send. As Allah said in the Quran, هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. He is the one who sent for the illiterate a messenger from amongst themselves, reciting Quran, reciting the ayat onto them and purify them. And then he said, وَيُعَلِّمُهُمْ, and teach them Quran and Sunnah. And we mentioned some of the factors or some of the ways that we need to do in order to purify our souls. We said first
is Tawheed.
التوحيد, the التوحيد, the sincerity, al-ikhlas, right? And being a muwahhid, a one who worships Allah alone, and the one who does all of the actions for Allah's case, for Allah's cause. This is the first thing, at-tawheed. And then we mentioned the do's and don'ts, right? Just to care about what's haram and halal, to care about that. And we said it's a big difference between caring about the do's and don'ts and doing mistakes. Making mistakes and slipping is actually our nature as humans. But to care about the mistakes, it is something else. It is a difference between the righteous ones and those who are not righteous. So the righteous ones are not those who don't make mistakes. No. The righteous ones are those who feel guilty and those who care about mistakes, who care about sins, who care about their faults and they try to correct it. Right? So always they blame themselves. And the third,
Skipping good friends.
yes, first the good friends, having good friends in your life, this is something actually we need to do in order to purify our souls. We cannot live in a bad environment and claiming that we're okay. We are not going to be affected by that. This is not going to happen, right? Because here again, Allah knows us more than we know ourselves. Allah commanded us to have a good company, right? And we elaborated this point too. And then we said the seeking knowledge. Every single ayah we learn, every single hadith we learn that increases the knowledge, increases actually our iman and purifying our souls. As Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. Those who fear Allah the most, right, from His slaves are the scholars, the knowledgeable ones. And then we mentioned what? Accountability, right? And as we said, just to hold yourself accountable for your actions, for your deeds, right? And that actually will relate to feeling guilty, but not only feeling guilty, it has something else, which is to try to correct yourself, to hold yourself accountable. You are not actually a baby anymore. You are not like, subhanallah, a kid anymore. You are a man of responsibility. When we do something wrong, we have every single, at least day before we go to bed, to ask ourselves what I have done during this day, right? Because Umar ibn Khattab said, وَتْحَاسِبُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُحَاسَبُوا وَزِنُوا أَعْمَالَكُمْ قَبْلَ أَن تُوزَنَ عَلَيْكُمْ. That's what Umar ibn Khattab said. Hold yourself accountable before it's held accountable, of course, by Allah Azza wa Jal on the day of judgment. And weigh your deeds and actions and gauge your actions before it's being gauged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a day will come and all the actions will be put on the scale, right? So why shouldn't we do that before the day of judgment? It's going to be much easier for us. And then we mentioned what?
Truthfulness.
Being a sadiq, a truthful person, a truthfulness, right? Jazakallah khair. We said what? Has two types. Truthfulness has two types here. The first type is?
Statement.
الصدق في الأقوال, statement and actions. And we mentioned the difference. Never lie, never spread lies, right? Never actually trivialize lies. Like people now, lies for them are the least thing to be done. Subhanallah. So what? No problem. They call it like, you know what? A white lie. Huh? As long as I don't harm others. There is nothing like that in Islam. The exceptions are only when we reconcile between people, when spouses talk together, right? And in the war, in the time of war, right? But other than that, it's not right to lie. And we said actions have to be also truthful. Like what? Like we have a goal in Ramadan to achieve. We have to work on this goal, right? As we mentioned the example, somebody wants to travel to Saudi Arabia to make Umrah, and instead of booking a ticket to Saudi Arabia, he booked a ticket somewhere else. Or he didn't even care to book a ticket, and he has a hope, I want to go, and he doesn't do anything. He is not a truthful in his action, right? So this is actually one more thing. And then we mentioned after that,
Purification of the heart.
we said, yeah, the actually hearts are the kings, and the limbs are the soldiers, right? And we said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the heart the control to actually decide what actions can be done. So all of the actions are the a reflection of the heart. And we mentioned the example of the tongue and the heart. We said the heart are like what?
The dish.
A dish, right? The heart is like a dish, and the tongue is like spoon. So whatever we speak actually as if we are dishing out from our heart to our spoon, to our tongue, right? We have to care about every single word. As Allah said, مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيدٌ. Every single word we utter, there are two angels who write them down, right? And they actually, subhanallah, they care about every single word. So we have also to make sure that our tongues and our actions are rectified, right? Some people say, you know what, as long as my heart is white, right? You hear that, right? Sisters, and so no problem. Nothing actually matters. As long as my heart are okay, my heart is okay, my heart is white, right? So no. Hadith said what? أَلَا إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً. There is a piece of flesh in the body. If it's sound, إِذَا صَلُحَتْ صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّ. The rest of the body will be sound and pure. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ. And if it's rotten, if it's not actually pure and sound, the rest of the body will be rotten. And he said, أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبِ. This piece of flesh is heart. So that means if somebody's action is not actually good, that means his heart is not good. Right? You get so how can I know my heart is good or not? Through my actions. Through my action. Because that's what he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If the heart is good, that will reflect on the action. You will come to pray, you will fast. Wallahi, nowadays we hear people say, I don't have to pray if I actually, I don't harm others. My heart is good. I don't harbor. I don't have any, issue with others. My heart is good. No, his heart is, subhanallah, so sick if he doesn't pray or he doesn't worship Allah Azza wa Jal. Last thing, but not least, the difference between, Allah said in the Quran, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. We recited, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Don't do tazkiyah to yourself. Don't. And we are commanded to make tazkiyah. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. How can we reconcile? The verse in this surah talks about what? Don't ascribe tazkiyah to yourself. Don't claim that you are good. Look, eventually we should still feel bad. Don't say, I'm good, I'm pure. لا تزكوا أنفسكم means don't ascribe purification to yourself. Don't praise yourself. Don't praise yourself, right? But the commandment, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, right? That means you try to purify. That means what? In short, actions, not words. Yeah, you do something good, but don't say I did something good. Right? Because it's easy to say I did good, but it's very difficult to do good. So Allah said, do something good, do actions, and don't care about, praising yourself. do actions and feel bad too. As scholar said, subhanAllah, the believers, they do good deeds and they feel bad because they're afraid that Allah might not accept from them. And the bad people, they do bad deeds and they have no problem because they feel Allah is Ghafur Rahim. Allah is going to forgive my sins. So what? No problem. So he does a lot of bad deeds and he feels it's okay. SubhanAllah, this something we need to tackle. The heart, the most difficult thing to do in your life is to tackle these intentions in your heart. Okay, did I do this for the cause of people to praise me or for the cause of Allah? So you always ask and question yourself, question your heart. You know, if we do that, we will be busy correcting ourselves than correcting others. We wouldn't have time to correct others because we are busy with ourselves now. So did I do this? Did I say this word for Allah's cause or for my cause? Did I say this? Did I do this action for Allah's cause or for my desire and cause? And so on and so forth. We ask Allah to purify our hearts and make us from those who put themselves down. Even with these good deeds, we put ourselves down. We are so humble. We are not arrogant. We actually feel that we need to be accepted by Allah Azza wa Jal. We ask Allah to accept our salah, our siyam. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانه وبحمده أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.